lines for Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Before we get started, I'd give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honor and respect to beloved apostles, elders, bishops, and great millstones. Much love, honor, and respect to the elect of the house of Israel and the house of David. And to the beloved Akwaf, listening and learning in meekness and humility, as the scriptures command to do so to you. We say Shalom and Barakatham. So we're prophesying the downfall and destruction of the daughter of Babylon. Okay, the land of the north, which is talking about America. And we're going to start off in the book of Matthew 24.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, and we start at the top, verse 1. And Yahweh Shai went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the building of the temple. And Yahweh Shai said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
Now we know Yahweh Shai is, the temple starts with the elect, okay? So Israel would fall away. I'm going to back that up. I think it's 1 Corinthians 3. We are about the temple. Okay, now the literal temple was thrown down, but he's focused on the people, the Lord's people. Okay? So Yahweh Shai is a prophet. So he's prophesying while teaching them. Okay? We're going to come right back to you, brother.
You said which one in 1 Corinthians?
We are a temple.
Spiritual.
Yeah, we that temple. There's a couple of them.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 3 and 16.
Yep.
Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth with you?
See that? So right now, the Lord is building the kingdom of heaven. How is he doing that? With wisdom. How? That wisdom is resident in his men, the Holy Spirit. So wisdom buildeth a kingdom. Right from there out to Proverbs 24, somewhere around verse 5. So you have, this is a spiritual house, not made with hands. The Lord is not talking to Israel of some man-made boundaries or a damn construction project. He's talking about where his spirit resides. He says he's going to be in the midst. So the temple is being built on earth. This is a spiritual book. We can't read it like a Harry Potter novel.
I got one.
Okay. It's in Amos. Amos 9, verse 11. It says, In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. See that? So the house of David is being rebuilt, which means by default that the hierarchy of the men are being reestablished, reasserted, have received the commission to build the Lord's house. How? By the hearing, teaching, and preaching of the word. So these men have the Holy Spirit, the lively stones that Peter talked about. That's rebuilding of the temple, the church. It's not talking about a physical house, okay? But a spiritual house. Got it, beloved.
It's Proverbs 24 and verse 3. The wisdom is in house building, and by understanding it is established.
See that? So wisdom is building the kingdom of heaven. That means Jacob, they're on the scene. The Bible says in 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, which means that the prophets of Jacob must be on the scene of the crime here in America and pronouncing sentencing. Judgments are coming forth. Inquisition is being made. Is there more on that, beloved? Okay, you got it.
Proverbs 24 and 3. The wisdom is in house building.
Excuse me. People think we need cheerleaders. I mean, god damn. I mean, just, I'm Salakia, brother. Go ahead, you got it.
Proverbs 24 and 3.
Right.
The wisdom is in house building. By understanding it is established.
See that?
And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches.
Beautiful. So it takes knowledge, understanding,
ultimately the Holy Spirit. So this is a powerful book, and this is a very important endeavor, not to be taken lightly or marginalized or taken for granted. This is very important what we're doing. I mean, think about it. Building an eternal house that's going to last forever. And Yahweh Shai is the capstone event that's going to come and occupy the throne of David. Okay? You got it. Oh, we're going back to you, brother. In Matthew 24. But yeah, we don't need sideliners or cheerleaders. Way to go, you know? All right, you know? Keep it up.
Good job.
Yeah, good job. Great work. What the hell are you talking about? You got it, beloved.
This is Matthew 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the mountain of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
See, Esau is the end of the world. So while this man is falling, while he's being thrown down, what we are witnessing are the Lord's witnesses, his servants, the prophets, pronouncing sentencing and judgment against him. So the prophets are helping to expedite this thing by prophesying the end. They're asking him, what should be the sign? Are not the Israelites for signs? You know what I said in Isaiah 8? Israel is for signs. So you got to watch when the figs begin to blossom, to bloom with wisdom, like flowers blossoming out. Remember, they look great when they fully blossom. So this is a process of the Lord's house that he's building. So the Israelites, the prophets, are signs. Are we not called the stars of heaven? Hey, you got it.
Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 18. It says, Behold, I and the children whom the Lord hath given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel, from the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth in Mount Zion.
Hey, you can't make this up, man. Hey, the Israelites are referred to as the stars of heaven. You see, lesser lights, lesser luminaries. You can't make this up. And those on the left hand, they know. Witches and warlocks. I ran into a witch one day, and she said she's seeing some bad signs or energy coming. I mean, this is a witch. So she knows that the wicked, they're getting ready to go in servitude, a subservient or a low-level servant status. How do we know? Remember that demon saw Yahweh Shai? He said, hast thou come to judge us before our time? So these people that's got left-hand spirits on them, they know they're getting ready to take a back seat. Okay, slaves, to be subjugated, subjects. Hast thou come to judge us before our time? They know. So this witch had her head hung low and says she's seeing bad signs or energy in the near future. You can't make this up. But yet we got niggas that don't believe. But a witch is saying she's concerned of what's coming. Unbelievable. What you looking for, bro?
It's a scripture kind of similar to the one that I read in English. I'm going to find it though. So then I'm going to get something different. It says, this is Joel chapter 2 and 1, and it says, Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
Beautiful. See that? So even the spirits on the left hand can see that. They can sense that because they know. All right? So we're living in some very spiritual times right now. Notice time is speeding up. We go from Saturday's camp to next Saturday's camp the next day, seem like.
Yeah.
It's like, well, damn, where did the work week go?
It's like 3 days in between.
3 days, exactly. Days is like being pulled out. For the elect's sake, the time is being shortened. You got it? Let's get that beloved on the shot. So the Israelites are for signs, the stars of heaven, up-and-coming kings and priests. So even left-hand spirits can sense that there's a spiritual shift on the earth, and they're concerned. Why you think the Bible says great fear fell upon them that saw them? So they're reading the signs or the stars. You got it, beloved.
Psalms 147 and verse 4.
Beautiful.
He telleth the number of the stars.
Wow.
He called them all by their names.
Read that again, Bukasha. So it's not talking about the physical outer firmament. You got a damn telescope out your backyard trying to read the scriptures and follow the stars. No, he's talking about the signs, up and coming kings and priests that are going to shine like the outer firmament. You got it, beloved. Daniel 12. Shine like the outer firmament. Yes, sir. You got it. Right from the top.
Psalms 147 and start at verse 3. He healeth the broken in heart and bindeth up their wounds. He telleth the number of the stars. He called them all by their names.
Wow. Great
is our Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and of great power. His understanding is infinite.
See that? So he has apportioned some of that understanding to his servants to be able to prophesy. You know, a father wants to look and see his son and say, that's my boy. Then not even look down on your Yahushai and say, what? This is my beloved son in whom I am well pleased. So the elect is going to share in that joint glory and inheritance. You got it, beloved?
Yeah, Daniel chapter 12 and 3.
Yep.
It says, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. And they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever.
See? So this endeavor that we are partaking in, this endeavor that we are pursuing is eternal. It's going to grow and abound. Okay, we're building the kingdom of heaven, so to speak. The Bible says, I will plant the heavens. So he's talking about bringing up the root and offspring of David, Yahushai, and the men after him, planting the heavens. Okay? But it starts with prophecies, laboring. It starts with waking up the elect through the Holy Spirit, gathering the stones that were scattered or dispersed. We're going to go right back to that in Matthew 24. Okay, you got it.
Isaiah 40, verse 26, says, lift up your eyes on high, and behold, who have created these things, that bringeth out their host by number. He calleth them all by names, by the greatness of his might, for that he is strong in power, not one faileth. You know, the Lord created, you know, all his election, his people, which in that would truly serve him. That's going to be those stars that he saw and called by names, right? And it shows the strength and power of our Lord and Savior, man. You know, to the fact that none of the things that has been prophesied or spoken are going to fail. Okay?
Yeah, you know the scripture I'm thinking of right now? One shall be called Yasharala, one shall be called Jacob. I think that's in Isaiah. They shall surname themselves. Again, if we'll get that one, it might be Isaiah 44, you see. So remember, when our forefather Jacob wrestled with an angel, when he went through tribulation, when he was tried and tested, he was changed into the prince of the power. So in like manner, we're going to be tried and tested and undergo great tribulation before we receive those crowns. You got people walking around with a welfare mind that just want to be handed something, having not suffered, having not labored, having not grinded. Hence great millstone, grinding, laboring. And then he was elevated and exalted as Yasharala. He is a prince of the power. This place is an anxiety nightmare.
If I can mention real quick, Elder,
You got it, beloved.
if I can say real quick, it's funny you say that because with these sirens, scientifically speaking, you know, things like that, they were literally created to raise certain levels in your brain of adrenaline.
Cortisol levels.
Yeah, raise your cortisol levels, put you in a fight or flight mode and things like that. You know, but we live in a world where we can pretty much ignore that. You just look at it as, yeah, whatever. You know, let it have been, you know, at a time frame where that shit didn't exist and you was to hear it for the first time, it would send you into shock or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This place is disgusting.
Well, I mean, that's how Esau leads, is by fear and intimidation.
That's right.
Waving the sword and fear and intimidation tactics.
Yeah.
This man's works on your mind. And our women love it because he has the military. He's in power. A lot of niggas love it too so they can get their 9-to-5 job and look at us like they're above us. Well, you're working for slave wages, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Hey, you got it, beloved.
I got you. This is what you call for. Isaiah 44 and 5.
Time.
One shall say, I'm gonna start at, can I start at 3?
Hey, you got it. Spirit leads you. Yep.
Isaiah 44 and 3. It says, "For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground.
Beautiful.
I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thine offspring. And they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the water courses. One shall say, I am the Lord's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob."
Hey, Bubba Kashaf, Salakia, read that again about pour out water as floods.
Time. Yeah, this is Isaiah chapter 44 and 3. "For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground."
Yep.
Yeah, if I can say real quick,
You got it.
you know, hey, when you look into the scriptures, man, once we separated from the Lord and became part of the congregation of the dead, that's why you give the comparisons constantly given that we were just dry bones. You know, we were dry bones. We had no flesh. You know, but what? As time went on and the Spirit of the Lord came upon us, the bones and the sinews got put together, the flesh got put together.
Yep.
That's the same, basically the same thing that's being said here, except we're being likened unto dry ground. Because without the Lord, we're unfruitful. You know, and that's what dry ground is, unfruitful.
Yeah.
Right? But then what happens when the water, hey, like any type of vegetation that's near a body of water is the most prosperous because it has a constant flow of that water.
Hey, remember when Yahweh Shai in John 7 and 38, he that believeth on me, as the scriptures have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living. Hey, brother, hey, Bubba Kashaf, Isaiah 41 and 17. So the Holy Spirit, you got a nigga just sitting here blowing the horn. Hey, this place is just vexing, man. I mean, it really is. But the Holy Spirit revives us, okay? It puts life back into us. Hence the valley of the dry bones in Ezekiel 37, like living waters. You got it, beloved.
You said
Isaiah 41 and 17, please.
okay, yeah. Isaiah 41 and 17 says, "When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst, I, the Lord, will hear them. I, the power of Israel, will not forsake them."
See, remember that speech? And we don't support Malcolm X, but there's a couple things that he said to hint that he knew we are the children of Israel.
Right.
We are the valley of the dry bones. Waking up in America, that dry place, dried up for thirst for wisdom and knowledge. It's talking about you so-called Negroes and Native Americans and Latinos. The Lord is getting ready to burn this place. But our people walk around proud. You okay? Think this is a game with a Garfield grin on their face. Hey, you got it, beloved.
This is Isaiah chapter 51
Yeah.
and verse 15. "I am the Lord, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, thy power,
Yep.
that divideth the sea, whose waves roar. The Lord of hosts is his name, and I have put my words in thy mouth,
Wow.
and had covered thee in the shadow of my hand, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundation of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people."
So paradise is being built. Okay? He's planning the heavens, Eden or Idan. We got to pay attention to what we're reading here. But you got people here in DC that just walk around, they're just looking for their next high, or their next blunt, or the next 40 ounce of damn Swiss malt liquor. The Lord is going to destroy this place. Okay? This is ridiculous. And you got grown-ass men walking around proud and working for damn peanuts on a penny. Hey, read that again about the Lord planning the heavens. Let's start at 15, please.
It's Isaiah 51 and 15. "But I am the Lord thy power, that divided the sea, whose waves roared.
Wow.
The Lord of hosts is his name, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and I have put my words in thy mouth, and I have covered thee in the shadow of my hand, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundation of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people.
So we're covered under the shadow of the Almighty Yahweh Shai. That right arm, that right hand. And he put his words in our mouth. So we are flowing with pure energy, the fountains of living water. That's the life force. And let's get that Jeremiah Bukashah in 4:22. We have awakened from the graves here in America. Ezekiel 37, the valley of the dry bones. America is a spiritual graveyard. You got it, beloved?
Yeah, Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge.
Con, you see? We're going to get that next one. Though the waves roar and toss themselves. It might be the next one over, Jeremiah 5. Yep. See? So our people, the wisdom that they have is the wisdom of this world. And they glorifying that. I got a bachelor's degree. I got an associate's degree. And then they'll mock us and say, well, you're reading from the Bible. A man wrote that. Well, what books did you read to get your bachelor's degree, your PhD slave degree? But you'll criticize us for reading a book. Did you not read a book to get your bachelor's degree? So you trust in the devil or the prince of this world. So shut your ass up. Okay?
Yeah, I got something too.
You got it, beloved.
Hey, I was at work. Jake was at the plantation. He did all this research about slandering King James, but never read the actual Bible. And it's like, nigga, you watched a 2-hour documentary about lies, but didn't look into the actual scriptures? That's why he's through.
That's what they do. A woman does that.
Yeah.
She just likes to hear herself talk and don't know what she's talking about. Okay? Unbelievable. You got it, beloved.
This is Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 22.
Beautiful.
And it says, fear ye not me, saith the Lord.
Love it.
Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it? And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it.
See that? Hey, brother, hey, the Israelites is set above the other nations, likened unto seas, waters. Please read that again. So the Lord set everything up in perfection, ordinances that cannot move out of their lot or their places, like the stars. Jacob is like stars, and the sand of the sea, that yet the waves cannot prevail. Israel is like the sand of the sea. And we got to read this thing through the Spirit. Hey, one more time, Bukashah, please.
I'm going to start a verse up.
You got it.
This is Jeremiah chapter 5 and 21. Hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not.
Time.
Fear ye not me, saith the Lord. Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea, by a perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it? And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it.
So there's ordinances in place. The Lord's chosen people cannot be overcome or done away with. Though the waves roar and toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. There's uproars of the people, the stress of nations, but yet he chooses Israel and is going to set them in their place, the holy land. You so-called Negroes, Native Americans, and Latinos. Hey, brother, who is the sand of the sea? Help us out, Bukashah.
This is Hosea chapter 1, and I'll start at verse 9. It says, then said Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your power.
That have ears to hear and cannot hear. So they're spiritually dumb. They can't understand a spiritual book. They just go back to reading Harry Potter novels. You can't read the Bible like that. It's a spiritual book. Believe it or not, witches read the Bible for spells to cast on the left hand. You got it, beloved.
says, verse 10,
Yep.
yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
Shall be as the what?
The sand of the sea,
Come on.
which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place,
But in that place, America, come on.
in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people,
Beautiful.
there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power.
See? So we were called Negro, Indian, Hispanic, Latino, Native, Black, okay, Jamaican, Haitian, Puerto Rican, Dominican. But yet the waves roar and toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Israel is as the sand of the sea, and the seas are like nations. Okay, why you think King David in the spirit? Hey, let's get it, brother. Psalms 124. He's talking about the proud waters. Let's get that one. We got to read this with a spiritual eye. Okay? This is not a physical book, but it's a divine heavenly message. So we need a divine spirit to help us navigate through these living waters, this word. You got it, King.
Psalms 124 and verse 3. Then they had swallowed us up quick when their wrath was kindled against us. Then the waters had overwhelmed us. The streams have gone over our soul. Then the proud waters had gone over our soul.
Yet the waves roar and toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. So there are set ordinances in place. Lots. I'm thinking of I think it's First Ezra 4, when the trees, when they argue with the sea or the ocean, or with the fire, you know what I'm thinking of? And you got it, beloved. Keep reading book of shop.
Psalms 124 and 6. Blessed be the Lord, who have not given us as a prey to their teeth. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken, and we are escaped.
Con.
Our help is in the name of the Lord, who have made heaven and earth.
See that? So the power, the great creator of the universe, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, has favor for Jacob, his people. Now we look like other nations. Some of us look Caucasian. Some of us look Asian. Some of us look Native African, because we've been scattered to all nations. So we can't go off skin color or what somebody looks like. Okay? But nevertheless, our heritage go back to our fathers, because the promises are to our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You got it, King.
Got something on that, if I may.
Yep, you got it.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 11, and I'll start at verse 10. It says, I'll start at 11. It says, Isaiah 11 and verse 11, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set them up and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. You know, and just touching on the point that the Shar went into, man, you know, the look of Israel has changed, because we're literally everywhere. You know, I know where I work at, I work with people from all over the world. You know, especially from out in the Middle East and in Africa, right? And you can see which ones are Jake and which ones are not.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's very easy to tell when it's an Israelite. You know, they're very different from the actual natives to that land, wherever they might say they're from.
Right.
You know, so color, it's not a thing about color, man. You know, people come up always talking that mess. Oh, y'all racist. And hey, racism is a sign of intelligence. You're just low intelligent. You know, because if you truly understood anything, you wouldn't come up, oh, you guys are bigots. Man, spell that word, man. You know what I'm saying? People always come up, got something to say, but they never got nothing to prove anything. You know?
2 Corinthians 10 and 7, please. And then we're going to go to that 2 Ezra 4, please.
2 Corinthians.
Yeah, 10 and 7. You got it, beloved.
This is Hosea 1, and where we were at, verse 11. It says, then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
See, that one head is King David. And it's talking about that place, which is America, where the woman, the daughter of Zion, was taken to and carried away to for a time and a dividing of times, for one of all things, for nourishment. See? So we have to depend on this man's food, water, clothing, shelter. So it's talking about the Israelites. Second Ezra, Second Ezra 4 and around 12. You got it, beloved. 2 Corinthians 10 and 7.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 7, and it reads, "Do you look on things after the outward appearance? If any man trust to himself that he is in Yahushua, let him of himself think this again, that as he is in Yahushua, even so are we Yahushua's."
There's a large protest. Large protest going by. Read that again. It's 2 Corinthians 10 and 7.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 7. And it says, Do you look on things after the outward appearance? Anyway, 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 7, and it reads, "Do you look on things after the outward appearance? If any man trust to himself that he is in Yahushua, let him think of himself, let him of himself think this again, that as he is Yahushua's, even so are we Yahushua's."
See? So it's the spiritual persona that we take on. We take on the image of Yahushua. That's what we're looking upon, the spirit, or the fruits of the spirit. Okay? We're stirring up all kinds of demons out here in the midst of hell. All right? Hey, brother, we're going to read it one more time and go to 2 Corinthians 3 and 17.
I was already heading there. But yeah, this is
5 police cars and damn 2 ambulances. Middle of hell.
confusion.
Confusion, Babylon. Now they're setting up police checkpoints. But we got individuals that love this. They love it. And clocking in, by the way, for slave wages. They love it. Hey, Bubba Kashab, beloved, we'll read that again and drive the point home.
Khan. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10, and I'll start at 7. And it reads, "Do ye look on things after the outward appearance? If any man trust in himself that he is in Yahushua, let him of himself think this again, that as he is in Yahushua, even so are we Yahushua's."
See? So we're taking on the fashions of Yahushua. Okay, to be unspotted or without blemish. So we're conforming to the image of Yahushua. We're going to go right from there to 2 Corinthians 3 and 17.
2 Corinthians 3 and 17 says, "Now the Lord is that Spirit,
Beautiful.
and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. But we all, with open face beholding, as in a glass, the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord."
Are changed into the same image as by the Spirit of the Lord, Yahushua. Once again, this is a spiritual book. You can't be a goblin and pick up this Bible. Okay, you're going to be confused.
That's right.
You got it, King. 2 Ezra 4 and 12.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 4. And I'll start
So
at
the
verse
brother is holding this because we read Jeremiah 5 and 22. Though the waves roar and toss themselves, yet can they not prevail against the sand of the sea. Okay? The Lord has everything set in its rightful place. Order. You got it, King.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 4. I'll start at verse 12. Then said I to him, it were better that we were not at all, than that we should live still among the godless and to suffer, and not know wherefore. He answered me and said, I went into a forest, into a plain, and the trees took counsel, and said, Come, let us go and make war against the sea, that it may depart away before us, and that we may make us more woods.
See? So these trees are also like people. You know what I said in Matthew? I think it's 8 and 24. To prove that, I saw men walking as trees.
Men walking as trees.
Yeah, it's either 8 and 24 or, yeah, I think that's where it's at.
I saw men
Yeah.
as trees.
I saw men walking as trees.
I got
Thinking of Matthew.
It's,
Hey, we're going to read that again, brother, while he's getting that.
it's
Book
Mark.
the shot.
It's in Mark.
Okay, Mark.
It's Mark 8 and 24.
Mark 8 and 24. Yeah.
This is Mark 8 and 24. I'll start at 23 for some context.
Okay.
It says, Mark chapter 8, verse 23, and it says, And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes, and he put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw aught. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking.
See? So we got to be thinking spiritually of these metaphors here. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra 4 and 12, please.
If I can say real quick.
You got it.
Hey, that's why the scriptures say that they that worship the Most High must worship Him in spirit and in truth, man.
Yep.
You can't just read the book and think you just gonna get it. You know, there's certain. Hey, you have to learn certain breakdowns before you can learn the other breakdown. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn certain parables you can't learn without certain breakdowns. Certain breakdowns you can't learn without certain parables. That's just how it is. There's levels to it, like they say in the world, man.
Yeah.
That's true.
And the Most High has everything set in a hierarchical order. Okay? Ordinances that we cannot surpass or overcome. Just like the trees. Just like the trees in the garden. Talking about nations. Hey, this is not, it's really not hard. Let's go back to that little Kasha, 2nd Ezra 4 and 12.
2 Ezra 4 and verse 12.
Yep.
Then said I to him, It were better that we were not at all, than that we should live still among the godless and to suffer and not know wherefore. He answered me and said, I went into a forest, into a plain, and the trees took counsel, and said, Come, let us go and make war against the sea, that it may depart away before us, and that we may make us more woods. The waves of the sea also in like manner took counsel and said, Come, let us go up and subdue the trees in the forest, that there we make another place for ourselves.
See, these other nations are trying to overstep their bounds. Let us cut their bands asunder. They want to exalt themselves. Right now, who's in the spotlight? Edom. Hold that, brother. We're going to read this real quick. Cutting their bands asunder.
Yep. It says, I'll start at the top.
You got it?
Psalms 2, verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
Beautiful.
The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord.
Hold on, brother. Hey, the trees took counsel together.
The trees was talking
Hey,
shit.
Salaki, I just got excited. I didn't mean to cut you off. Hey, yeah, the trees talking get bold, big stuff. Who is this God that we should obey them? Pharaoh weak ass. Is that not what he told Moses? Who is this God that I should obey him? Proud as hell. You got it, beloved.
The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
Beautiful.
If I can say real quick.
Yeah, you got it.
Hey, like it says in Psalms 83, right? It basically is the same rhetoric, so to speak, right? It's the same exact thing that it's saying in Psalms 83, where how they set that tumult for our people, right? And then, but the difference is it actually goes into list the nations, and the first nation on that list is the nation of Edom.
Yep.
You know, because that's the top nation that hates us the most out of everybody else. You know, because when you look into these different kingdoms, right, when they took over and did what they did to us, they decided to use us to help them, right? Esau is the only one that's like, how do we get rid of them? 100%. They're the only ones that actually want to get rid of us. They want to wipe us off the face of the earth. You know, that's what separates them from the other nations, the other Gentiles, you know? But you can keep reading?
Yeah, you got it.
So it says, verse 4.
Stop and cut their bands asunder.
Oh, I'll read it again then.
Yep.
Psalms 2 and 3. Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
You know, the Most High has them in a trick bag. You know why? Because Israel is like the sand of the sea or the stars of heaven. They made Egypt great, built Pithom and Ramses. So they got to integrate the Israelites into their kingdom in order for it to survive. That's why they commissioned Dr. Martin Luther King to promote what? Integration. Nimrod, we're all one. Antiochus, we're all one. Which tells us what? They understand a part of the mysteries. You got to integrate the Israelites into your kingdom to ensure survival, to ensure longevity. You got it, beloved. Yep.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. It says, For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power.
Yep.
The Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Beautiful. So the Most High, his word cannot be broken. You see? So he's bound by his word. Though the waves roar and toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. So everything is set in its rightful order and ordinances, which goes back to laws. Now I'm thinking of Isaiah 24, that this man has upset the natural order of things, the laws. Did you know it's a crime to subjugate the Lord's people? It's a crime not to reverence his priests or to revile the gods. So they're breaking the ordinances the Most High put in place. You know what that's at? Isaiah 24. Yep, I think it starts around 3. Okay? Why you think he's called that man of sin? Because he's counter Bible. He's counter spiritual. He's about the flesh, the man of the flesh. You got it, King.
It's Isaiah 24, and I'll start at verse 3. Points at verse 5. It says, The land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled, for the Lord hath spoken this word. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant.
See that? So really, you're supposed to uphold the Israelites as your lords, your gods, your kings, your rulers, your magistrates. But when you beat them, enslave them, forward the affliction, all you're doing is just banging the nails in your own tomb, in your own coffin. You're making a pit for your own grave. I think that's Sirach 21, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? So that's all you're doing, is building a pit and the stones for your own burial. So America's going to be that grave site, that burial place. Okay?
Got something.
Yeah.
Because you spoke about it's a crime to do what they did to us. You know, and the scriptures even say that. Even that when our punishment was accomplished, you know, they kept the affliction going.
Yep.
So this is Joel chapter 3, and I'll start at 5. It says, Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem ye have sold to the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Which that's what that's talking about. Verse 5 and 6 said the same things, essentially, because we're likened unto the Lord's goodly, pleasant things. I believe in Lamentations, we're likened unto rubies. You know, when we were besieged, and our young men, even the warriors and the men that were of great beauty, all right, they were likened unto rubies and things of that nature. You know, as they were passing. because of the siege, you know. But it says that we were sold to the Grecians. That's the Edomites, and removed far from our border, right? It says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people afar off, for the Lord hath spoken it.
See? So the Bible, consistent theme, slavery to the other nations, salvation and deliverance, and exaltation of his saints, the Israelites, the house of David. That's the consistent theme throughout the Bible. So let's prove they're building their own gravesite, their own burial place here in America. You got it, King.
This is Sirach from Ecclesiasticus 21. And I'll start at verse 8. It says, he that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial.
Wait a minute, are we not the Lord's treasure? Did he not build his kingdom off the backs of you so-called Negroes, Native Americans, and Latinos? And you know what that said? We are his treasure, Psalms 125. Somewhere between 3 and 5. Hey, read that again, Book Kashah.
Sirach 21 and 8.
Yeah.
He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for their tomb of his burial.
See that? So this place is going to be buried under the proverbial lake of fire. Okay? That's how this place is going to be buried. The proverbial lake of fire. So America is that burial site, that large graveyard. Okay? Yeah.
Start at the top, or
I'm going to get that treasure in a second. Yeah, you got it. Read it again, please.
This is Sirach 21 and 8. He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. And the congregation of the wicked is like tow wrapped together, and the ends of them is a flame of fire to destroy them. So, you know, like the Shah was just saying, you know, the Lord has a perpetual fire that's soon to destroy these people for the oppression that, you know, and the cry that they have been pushing forth upon the Lord's people. You know, it's an everlasting affliction within in their mind, but truly the Lord said that he's going to save us out of the hands of our enemy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 25. Pour out thy fury upon the heathen that know thee not, and upon the families that call not on thy name. For they have eaten up Jacob and devoured him and consumed him, and have made his habitation desolate.
Remember when the scripture said he swallowed down riches, he shall vomit them up again? You think the Bible is lying? So the treasure ultimately are the elect, which is really the house of Israel in its entirety. But there's an elect of the elect. Psalms 135, and we'll transition. 135, please.
This is Psalm 135, verse 4. For the Lord hath chosen Jacob unto himself, and Israel for his peculiar treasure.
And what?
And Israel for his peculiar treasure.
See that? So this devil swallowed down the house of Israel. And I'll end it here. Is it not written, all they that have devoured thee shall be devoured? You see the harmony of the scriptures there. Slavery.
Go to Jeremiah 28 and 8. Grab that.
This is the book of Jeremiah 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Yeah, do me a favor. Read it in the, see what the NLT says, and then also maybe the end. Yeah.
This is Jeremiah 28, verse 8 in the NLT. It says, the ancient prophets who preceded you and me spoke against many nations, always warning of war, disaster, and disease.
Yeah. Read the AMP, see what that says as well.
Jeremiah 28:8 in the AMP. The prophets who were before me and before you from ancient times prophesied against many lands and against great kingdoms, of war and of disaster and of virulent disease.
Yeah, okay. So basically the same thing. You know, I think one of them said warning, always warning of, right? The NLT. But basically that's what we're supposed to be doing, right? That's our whole entire job. Like the scriptures talk about how this is our occupation or our profession, is what it says. And the reason why I wanted to start off with that is because you got so many things happening in the world right now, and you see things are still churning. Everybody is still going on, walking on as if this war is not going to lead to World War III, right? And now the scriptures say that a prophet that's raised up by God is going to be preaching or speaking about wars and evils and pestilences, all the different things that Yahweh Shai prophesied, right? When you read the book of Matthew 24, Luke 21, those precepts. So it's important in these end days as a prophet and as a listener that you make sure that you're speaking the right things and you're listening to prophets that are talking about current events. Because these current events, right, these are things that we're measuring right now. We're measuring the times and we're seeing what's going on in the world and we're speaking on the things that prophets were prophesied to do. And so there's not going to be any peace, at least not right now. And that's very important to understand. You got to wrap your mind around the concept of things getting worse. This world is not going to all of a sudden fall into some kind of recession and then bounce back 6 months later. We're not living in that time frame. Like you had the '08 real estate bubble crash, whatever they want to call it, and then things bounced back. Everybody was cool 2-3 years later. That's not what this is going down. What's going down is a time like never was nor shall be. Let's read verse 9 for me, and then we'll get second essence.
This is Jeremiah 28 in verse 9, and it says, the prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him.
Right. So if you're prophesying about peace, but remember, verse 8 said, look, a prophet raised up by God is going to be speaking about war against kingdoms, evil, pestilence, things like that. That doesn't sound like peace. And you see, the problem is our people, they want to hear smooth things. Everybody wants to hear things that sound good to their flesh, things that make you look positive or so-called, quote-unquote, optimistic. Everybody want to hear things like, oh, don't worry, things are going to get better. But the thing is, things will get better, but it has to get worse first. It's not going to get better until things get worse. And then the Bible prophesies that there's going to be a new heavens and a new earth. But you see, the true prophets are here to let you know that, look, what's going on with Iran and U.S. right now, that's more than likely going to spiral into World War III. You see, they were supposed to have some kind of peace talks, and now what happened? Just like 2 weeks ago, supposed to have some kind of ceasefire, not even 24 hours later. Matter of fact, it was like 8 hours later, Israel starts bombing Tehran again.
Even that.
Yeah.
But it started last year.
Yeah, exactly. They were supposedly negotiating last year, and then the U.S. bombed them. That happened twice. Then, now they had a so-called ceasefire, but then Trump is saying, well, ceasefire, great, but I'm going to keep this naval blockade.
Yeah.
Now Iran is like, well, hold on. That's violating the ceasefire because we said we were going to open up the strait, so now let's close it back again. Now the U.S. came out with a report saying that from the day the war stops, whenever that is, from that day moving forward, it's going to take at least 6 months to open up the strait, because that's how long it's going to take to find all the underwater mines. Now we all know the longer this war drags on, the more scarce food is going to be, different products, because you got to understand, plastic is made using oil. If there's no more oil, there's less plastic. So you got to think about everything that's packaged and that uses plastic. Not just food, right? But shampoo, conditioner, the soap you like, your deodorant, things like that. So many things that we use on a daily basis we don't even think about. In the next few months, get ready for shortages.
They're already saying the damage has been done, that even if the street were to reopen, it's irreversible.
Irreversible, I seen the same thing. And they're already calling this the worst energy crisis ever. It's only been 2 months.
It's only going to get worse.
It's only going to get worse. Read that in second Ezra for me. That's it, 15 at the top, I think. Whatever. Read
I
it.
got one cold speak on here.
Yeah, why not? Don't matter.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Wait until you time. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Most High.
Actually, let's go to 16 then.
16.
Let's go to 16 and around 37, right?
This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 30.
Oh, yeah.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 35. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Most High. Behold, the word of the Most High, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake.
Would you happen to have the GMS?
Get it?
Yeah. While he can say, you get your precept.
Because you quoted it earlier. Isaiah 30 and 9 and 10, it says that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things,
Right.
speak unto us smooth things,
Right.
prophesy deceit.
Right, that's the mentality of our people. They want to hear smooth things. They want to hear deceits. They want to hear, look, this upcoming NFL draft, my team is going to get all the players we need. We're going to win. We're going to take it. Life is going to be great. We're going to have NFL parties. Woo! Super Bowl parties. Life is going to continue. We retire with a nice picket fence. Right, you get your chicken wings and your ranch, your blue cheese, and you're good. You know, our people want to hear those type of things. That's why they go to the Christian church. You want to hear lies and deceits and smooth things. You walk your ass into a black-ass Christian church, you're going to hear all of that and more. All of the above. They're going to tell you things that you want to hear. And that's why y'all go to them. Because y'all just want to hear a nice little motivational speech. That's it. That's why y'all not out here. Y'all come out here, we tell you the truth. We tell you exactly what's about to happen. And we don't hold anything back. It doesn't matter if it hurts anybody's feelings. It doesn't matter if it doesn't feel good to you. Our job is just to tell you exactly what the Lord said. Look, wars and evil and pestilence is coming. Famine is coming. And what's always goes along with famine? Cannibalism. That's coming too. You can read all throughout just our history. The scriptures, you see our history, we had famine in our land. Mothers selling their babies, things like that. Look, you know, we eat mine today, yours tomorrow, so on and so forth. All these things are coming back. Your job is to hear these things and be like, you know what? If this is inevitable, what should I be doing? What do I need to do with my life right now to make sure, like the scriptures say, you got to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. A lot of y'all not doing that. Y'all not doing it because you're not being told and you're not thinking about the end. But the end is here. Go ahead, Doc.
Well, our so-called community say the greatest enemies of preachers and politicians.
Yep.
They do not consider the things that they should. This is 2 Ezra in the GMT, 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 35. Now listen to my message, you people who serve the Most High. It is the Most High's message, so receive it and believe what he says.
Yeah.
The disasters are approaching rapidly, and they will not be delayed.
Wait. Start off from again. Read that for me.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 35 in the GMT.
Yeah.
Now listen to my message, you people who serve the Most High.
Right?
It is the Lord's message, so
Yeah.
receive it and believe what he says.
Right. It says this is the Lord's message. Right? Now y'all looking at us like y'all just some regular men. Y'all as old, y'all bleed like we bleed. We the same age, or I'm older than y'all. But the difference is the Lord is speaking through certain men. That's how it's always been. The Lord speaks through certain men. So when we tell you something, we're reading you the words of the Lord. And if we're reading you the words of the Lord and giving you the warning, don't look at us and listen to us because you see a mortal man with the elect. Right? Keep going.
Verse 37. The disasters are approaching rapidly, and And they will not be delayed.
Yeah, disasters, it says, is approaching rapidly, and it will not be delayed. I'm telling you, everybody's freaking out right now because gas prices are going up a little bit. Everybody's complaining. I'm getting tired of hearing it. Shut the fuck up. It's only going to keep going higher. So what you going to keep doing? Complaining about it forever? Milk is up more. When you lose your job, when there's no more food out here. Now at that point, sure, now you can start complaining. This ain't nothing right now. People go through even the smallest little ounce of just stress and they just bug out, they freak out. It's not even terrible right now. We've seen worse. Everybody's freaking out like all of a sudden tomorrow they're gonna wake up and it's about to be $10 a gallon. We're not in hyperinflation yet. When hyperinflation hits now, y'all can go crazy. When you walk in the store, you know, eggs is a certain price, you get to the cash register and it changed like that, up $5 more. But this is what the Bible says. It says disasters are coming. You gotta prepare your mind for that. Once again, you hear these things, our job isn't to fret like the rest of the world. We've been warned. We know what the scriptures say. So be prepared, and when it happens, like it says, pause that real quick, Baba Kushah, Proverbs 3 and 25. You don't fret. You're not supposed to be scared. You let the rest of the world be confused because they don't have the Holy Spirit. It said, the Lord is our guide. He's the guide of them that keep his commandments. And what's the number one commandment? Just have faith, believe in the Lord. So if he says he's your guide, you gotta believe it. Go ahead, Doc.
Proverbs 3 verse 25. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh.
Yeah. Is there more on that? Like one more verse? Yeah.
Proverbs 3 and 26. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken.
Right, shall keep your foot from being taken. I mean, he's going to keep you grounded. And how is that going to happen? It's with this knowledge and wisdom and understanding that we've been given. The Lord is going to make sure that we're grounded, we're stable, right? Our knees aren't buckling, representing that we're going to have a strong, clear mind. We're going to be thinking very soberly in that day, while the rest of the world is running, asking all those W questions. What's going on? Why is this happening? Where do I go? What do I do? When is it going to be over? Asking all these things, bugged out. The Lord is going to put his spirit on us where we're calm and cool and collected because we've thought about the end. And you got to do that sometimes. You got to just sit back sometimes and just think about how crazy it's going to be. Low-key, like, warp your mind there. Get your mind there already. How people are going to be looting and rioting. How there's not going to be any food. What are you going to do when that happens, when you lose your job? Because everybody's going to go through it, right? The Christian church will tell you that they're going to get raptured up. They get raptured, they see no evil. Nah, it don't say that in the scriptures. It says it's going to be, you're going to see 1,000 at your left side, 10,000 at your right. It's not going to come near you, it says. So we're going to be in the midst of all these things. But we got to remember this, Proverbs 3. It says don't fret when these things happen.
It's one of the necessary things you gotta do as by preparing for the times of temptations to detach yourself from your possessions. And how was trying to touch on that topic, saying this in Luke chapter 12, verse 15, and he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesses.
Yeah, straightforward, right? Meaning what? Just like it says in Matthew 6. Perfect. You might as well read it.
This is Matthew 6 and 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal.
Right, meaning don't have any stake in this current life. You can't look at the possessions that you have right now, your job. You may have so-called job security. You making a good little 6 figures, whatever. You got a nice little house, decent mortgage, everything is cool. Or maybe you got your own business, it's low-key flourishing better than it ever has been. it's flourishing at the very end, and you like, oh man, what's going to happen with it? It's going to be gone. It's going to be gone. All these things.
And that's the mindset that the churches have been pushing on drink. Because you know the pastors of these churches are like job security. So when you get addicted to that mindset of job security, you're going to have to bend the gospel, bend the sermon to make the same people follow in line. You know? So that's the struggle we have in our nation.
Right.
You know, you got to make the people feel as if you need job security to survive in a place like this.
Yeah, especially because our people were bound by the curses. So now all of a sudden, everybody, our people, they're more receptive to these positive words, trying to find some kind of job security and protection while we're living in hell, right? So it really makes sense, but you have to say, you know what? God told me not to put my treasures here on earth, meaning my mind is not supposed to be here, right? If your mind is here, you're going to get corrupted like the scriptures say. So your mind has to be in heaven. Keep going.
Matthew 6:20, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt,
Right.
and where thieves do not break through nor steal.
Right, so you have to put on as the elect, right? Which means that what? You have to be thinking about spiritual things. You got to be thinking about the kingdom to come, about how Yahweh Shai is currently right now working on that for us, this very, very moment. We got to be thinking about his sacrifice, what that means for us. We got to be doing the best thing for our lives, which is repenting, asking the Lord for mercy. These are the things that we're doing, and that shows that you're laying up treasures in heaven right now. Nobody else is doing that. There's only a small remnant, the scriptures say, that's actually doing these things. Now let's jump back to 2nd Ezra for me. Now you'll see how all of this ties in, because this is the proper mindset and behavior to have in these end days, knowing that disasters are coming. It's about preparation, spiritual and mental preparation. But
I'm just thinking too of these women when they say that have been stranded over there because what? They were all engaged in folly. Well, I'm going over here to Dubai for my 30th birthday. Now they can't get back. Now they're crying. Please, Mr. President, do something. I want to go back home. You didn't think about that? War. There might be, you know. Wow.
Yeah, because now they realize what's more important. Because when Jake is put into a corner, tight spots, you're gonna realize that your life is worth more than your comforts. You know, because when you go to those foreign countries, you're able to enjoy the pleasures, you know, of this world. You know, you're able to get what they call it 24-hour room service, entertainment beyond your imagination. You know, you got access to all types of treasures and capital. So what do? You know, you have to understand it's temporary. That's why this gospel helps people grounded. It's a challenge, you know, to make an adjustment when you get a break, you get a sigh of relief from all your struggles. But then you have to snap out of it. So it's just like when you drink wine, you know, it's about a deep, strong drink to him that willing to perish. So when you forget your struggles and all that stuff, you're in a good mood. And then, you know, you got to get back to the real deal. Because you can't be in that drunken state of mind thinking that the comforts of this world is going to get you to the next stage. It doesn't help you get there. You see the damages of all the infrastructure. Refineries getting blown up. Schools getting blown up. You know, everything is getting burned down. You know, neighborhoods getting bulldozed. Yeah, hospitals, ambulances, you name it. Bridges getting blown up. So how are you going to get to the next town when you have all this destruction around you? You know, you can't get international aid coming in. Now you're left to be foraging and all that stuff. You know, the same thing that happened in Haiti.
Yeah.
You know, our people have to eat mud cookies. So I mean, it's a painful experience, but you got to get real. You know, you got to be ready for that. I have to eat some cookies too.
Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 38 in the GMT. A woman in the 9th month of pregnancy may suffer labor pains for several hours. But when the time comes for the baby to be born, there is no longer any delay. In the same way, the disasters that are coming on the earth will not be delayed, and the world will groan when it is caught in its labor pain.
Yeah, it says the world, it says, is going to groan when it's caught in these labor pains. Meaning what? It's not just going to be here in America. It's not just Babylon the Great. It's going to be the entire world that's going to go through some kind of global, or we'll say economic disaster. And you know that because all these different economies are being affected. The elder just mentioned it. Different oil refineries, bridges, hospitals, all these different things are being taken out. And it's affected many different countries. Just the fact that oil isn't being transported through the Strait of Hormuz right now, you have different EU nations and they're like, look, we're going to have to start cutting back on flights. Flights are getting canceled. You got farmers around the globe and they're like, yo, we're not getting the fertilizer that we need. We're not getting any of these things. Huh?
I think urea is the fertilizer that's significantly
Oh, yeah?
down here.
Yep.
And commerce. It's gonna, well, you already mentioned because you have all these folks that sell stuff online. So how are you gonna get your stuff? You know, supply overseas.
Yeah.
If you can't get it by shipping, you can't get it by air. Wait. So your orders are stuck. You already paid for it up front. You can't get it. So what do? You have to find another supplier. That takes time. Right.
Yeah, you get it.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 40 in the GMT. Listen to my message, my people, and get ready for the battle.
Yeah.
When the disasters come, you must live as people whose home is not in this world.
Yeah, that's the pilgrim. That's the pilgrim mindset, right? Living as one whose home is not in this world. Meaning, like the brother read before, Matthew 6. You have to put your treasures in heaven. All these things go down. You lose your job, your business, your house, your car, whatever. You got to say, fuck it. You got to say, oh well, I don't need it. Because I know the Lord is going to protect me, guide me, my household, whoever I'm with in those times. And you're looking forward to that new heaven and the new earth. You see, you're going to have to go through something in order to receive salvation. And you can't just proclaim and say you have faith. That's fine and dandy, because that's what we're doing right now, right? We're all just saying we have faith. But you better believe that in that day to come, if you say you have it, you're going to have to show it. You're going to have to show your faith. And that's why you have that hour of temptation, or the hour of testing, right? It's to show forth that you actually believe in the Lord the way you've been saying you do all these years or months, however long you've been in this truth. So you're going to have to live as one whose house is not in this world. You should be living like that right now anyway. One more quick, then I got you.
Verse 41. Merchants must not expect to make a profit from what they sell.
Must not expect. It doesn't mean that you can't, right? But be ready to let it go at a certain point. Go ahead.
They must be ready to run for their lives. Their customers must expect to lose whatever they buy. Whoever builds a house should not plan to live in it. Farmers should not expect to harvest their crops or pick their grapes. Those who marry must not expect to have children. And those who don't marry must live as if they had been widowed.
Right, so meaning that's your mindset. If you have all these things, then great. But once again, you just don't put your whole stake into it like the elder was going into. It's all about letting go. You can't be too comfortable with all these things. You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. We've made that statement before plenty of times. And you can't get attached. That's what he said. That's the key word right there. The key word is attachments. Attachments are going to get you killed in these days to come. I'm telling you. You're too attached to certain things, then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're looking back and you end up like Lot's wife. You got to keep these stories in mind, because certain stories, they keep you rooted and grounded, and they keep you going forward. I remember, I had a dream. Matter of fact, it was the night the Passover ended. I think it was that Wednesday, I forget. But that night I had a dream, and I haven't dreamed in years. And I used to be a heavy dreamer. When I first came into truth, I was getting dreams weekly. And there were some terrifying dreams. I had to pray to the Lord that he just take them away, because I couldn't sleep. So I haven't dreamed in years. All of a sudden, the end of the Passover comes and I get one. Very, very vivid. And long story short, because it was a long dream, and I remember the whole thing. But the key point right now is I remember me and my girl, we were in the midst of Jacob's trouble. It was cold outside, right? It was like in the winter time, and it was supposed to be really, really cold. And she called me. She's at the bottom of the steps, and she's like, "Hey, come downstairs. It's starting. It's starting." I'm like, "What the fuck is starting?" And as I'm walking down the steps, she's like, "Don't be startled." I'm like, "Why the fuck would I be startled? Like, who you talking to?" So I get down the bottom of the steps, and all of a sudden, mind you, it's wintertime in the dream, I feel heat. I'm like, what the it's hot as hell. I feel like I was burning up. I get down the bottom of the steps, I look outside, everywhere is just lit up like orange, bright. And basically in my mind, I'm like, yo, the missiles are on their way. What the fuck? I'm like, that's why it feels so hot. It's all these missiles. And that's why it's so bright. I'm like, let's go. So we're on the move. We're on the move. We're just walking. With the spirit in the dream, the spirit told me where to go. So I'm like, all right, let's go. So we're just walking, right? Next thing I know, because the spirit told me to go to a building, and that's where a brother was. Like I was waiting there for a brother. So long story short, point is, as we're walking, then my foot was injured. And I'm like, wait, my girl walking faster than me. I'm limping and shit, walking slow, and she's in front of me, and she's out of there. So a missile comes out of nowhere, and it lands right in front of her. Boom! And it just crashes, and we're both like, oh shit. But we don't turn around, and she doesn't turn around. And she just stops there, right? So she's startled, and she just stops. But she keeps looking forward. And I eventually, my slow ass, I catch up to her, and I put my hand on her back, and I'm like, keep walking. Do you think the Lord is really going to take you out right now by a missile? And she didn't say anything. She didn't even look back at me. I'm like this. She didn't look back, and she just, from there, she kept walking. And she left me in the dust. And I kept walking too. But my point is, you can't look back. And metaphorically, spiritually, that's all I got from that dream. We might as well grab that precept now. Quoted it so many times, yeah. But you can't look back. You gotta keep looking forward and have your eyes on the prize, because that's what the Lord wants. Sirach 18 and 24. It's another good one. No, let's that brother get that. Or sure. Let's grab, before you get that, let's get Sirach first.
This is Sirach chapter 18, verse 24. Think upon the wrath that shall be at the end, in the time of vengeance, when he shall turn away his face.
28 for me. Verse 28.
Verse 28. Every man of understanding knoweth wisdom.
Oh, I'm sorry, 20.
20, okay.
Yeah, 20.
All right. Sirach chapter 18, verse 20.
Yeah.
Before judgment, examine thyself.
Yeah.
And in the day of visitation, thou shalt find mercy.
That's what it's all about. You see, that's what we want, mercy right now, right? So right now, you got to be thinking about the Lord's will and doing what he's telling us that we need to do in these times, which is repenting, asking for mercy, and asking the Lord to increase our faith. And asking the Lord to remember us in those evil times. And like you always hear the apostles say, well, every now and then, you got to kind of shout the Lord's words back to him. You said you'd be my guide, Lord, please continue to be my guide. And that's what I remembered in that dream when I woke up. I'm like, man, I kept believing in the Lord. I trusted in him. And Lord willing, all of us, we just keep doing that. Thinking about the wrath before it actually comes. Because the Lord is going to turn his face from a lot of different people. Everybody thinks that the Lord's mercy is literally just going to endure forever and ever and ever. No, it gets cut off at a certain point. Did it not get cut off in the time of Noah? When the Lord shut them in that ark? Mercy was over. Y'all had 120 years. Y'all saw Noah out there every day banging the hammer. Y'all could have picked up a hammer and helped him. Y'all could have got out there and got some wood, laid some things down, at least give him some goddamn water. Something, right? Metaphorically right now, y'all can send up a prayer. Y'all can do certain things like that. That's not hard for the elect that they endure. That's what you got to do in these days. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, this goes back to the point you made before about making that transition from holding on to worldly possessions This is Luke chapter 9, verse 58. And Yahushua said unto him, Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man have not where to lay his head.
That's right. And we got to take that literally right now because we're coming in those days of the pilgrimage. You got to be able to just ready to just walk and go and walk in the Spirit, follow the Lord. That's why we always say it. You got to walk in the Spirit, meaning what? You got to see what the Lord's intentions here on earth are for you. That's what it means to walk in the Spirit. What is the Lord saying? And if he didn't have a place to rest his head, why do we think that we deserve anything better? Especially in these times to come, you just got to go. And you got to believe. That's right, Book of Eli's spirit, like the Shar said. And that's why it's not coming down to the laws, statutes, and commandments. We tell y'all that all the time. That's a beautiful thing. You want to keep the laws? Do it. We're doing our best to keep the laws. But don't think for a second that anybody on earth is keeping it perfect. There's nobody on earth doing that. There was one man, and now he's in the heavens. His name is Yahushua. Not Jesus, not Christ, not Yeshua, none of that bullshit. His name was, or is, Yahushua. He kept the laws perfect, and he was our sacrifice. So you keep the laws to the best of your ability, but you walk with faith and you understand, I may not have a place to lay my head. I don't know where that's going to be. I just know that the Lord got me. And it's going to be you. It's going to be, you might be leading 10, 15, 20, 30. You might have 100 people following you in that day to come. You never know. That's realistic, right? You could have 100 people following you. They're all looking to you. You know what I'm saying? Not me. I don't point that out. They looking at you. You got to be able to guide them.
Put that on me.
That's exactly what our forefather Moses had to deal with. You have to accept that responsibility, because you never know when the Most High is going to, appear to you in that burning bush. It could be in Rock Creek Park. Right. It could be in, out of some mountain somewhere. You never know. Yeah. You never know. Yeah, that's the thing you have to prepare yourself for, because right now you are here on the highways and byways, but you never know when the Lord will pay you a visit and start speaking with you face to face. So you have to be ready for that encounter, because it's not going to be your regular, faith that you have now. It's going to be a different type of faith in these days.
Go ahead, Doc.
This is Luke 17, verse 26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives. They were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all.
Yeah, that's currently happening right now. People are not going to stop either. They're not going to stop because they want to be a part in this world. A lot of people see nothing wrong with this world. All the corruption that's going on. Who's talking about the Epstein files anymore? That shit old news. Right. You barely hear anybody talking about that.
No indictments either.
Yeah, no indictments, nothing. The government's like, get over it. Trump is like, get over it. We got to move on to more important things. It's over. But you see, starting with the apostles on down, we've been talking about that for years. And we haven't forgotten about it. The Lord hasn't forgotten about it, right? Does it not say that the sins of Babylon, and we'll just say Esau, they reach unto heaven? The Lord hasn't forgotten all these things. So everybody's just going on, and they want to live in this corrupt, wicked, nasty-ass world. So they're going to keep going to college, trying to get their degrees, better their life and get a better job, better house, so on and so forth. People putting crazy amounts of dollars into their savings, 401ks, Roth IRAs. Meanwhile, we're living at the very end. None of that crap is going to matter. Ain't none of it going to matter. And the only way that you're going to keep any of that is if you get the chip. And a lot of people are going to take it. So it's no coincidence that people are still getting married, doing all these things, as if we're not living in a time in which chariots are about to cover the sky. Go ahead, Doc.
Luke 17:28. Likewise, also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they brought They sold, they planted, they builded.
They bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. Remember, we read in 2nd Ezra 16, you do all these things, you got to act as if you're ready to lose it all. But you see, the contrast is that these people, which is the same exact generation, they're doing it and they're putting their whole livelihood into it. They're starting a business and they're looking at that business by saying, that's my salvation. That's going to get me through. My Roth IRA, that's going to make sure when I'm older in the next 20, 30, 40 years, I'm good. And they're putting their whole stake and trust into Esau's system. And that's what's going to make people take that chip. So they're going to keep doing all these things, even in the end days when all of a sudden, even as we see this place spiraling down. So don't think for a second, just because this world is still churning, that all of a sudden things are going to just randomly get better. Nah. Remember, people are going to be in the mindset of peace and safety. Everything's okay. Especially when that chip is really pushed. They're really going to be thinking, oh, you're telling me I can eat again? You're telling me you're going to put money in my bank account? Everything's going to be okay? I can go back to my house? I can go back to living like I used to? All I got to do is just get this chip, and I'm going to barely feel it? You're not even going to be able to know I got it? Sure. Other people are going to be lining up for it. But
Luke 17:29. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. In that day he shall be up on the housetop, and his stuff in the house. Let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Remember Lot's wife.
Yeah, remember Lot's wife. So it doesn't matter where you are. And who knows? You might be at home chilling. It might be 3 a.m. in the morning and something just goes down. Changes the course of this world, how we're all living and moving. You might be at work. Your children might be at school. Might be at daycare. Your woman is far off. Who knows? Or maybe you're together with some bros. You never really know where you're going to be in that end day or in that time, right? But at the end of the day, you have to keep putting your trust in the Lord, no matter where you are, because your lot is going to change like the elder was going into. You see, the ministry, everything is going to change. It's going to evolve into something different, something greater than what it is right now. Faith is going to flourish, like the scriptures say, right? Even though it is right now, but wait until that time. All of our spirits is going to be like this, right? The Lord is going to do something inside of us to make us really be elevated on a more higher and spiritual level. And you got to believe that and wait for it. Miracles are going to happen. All these different things. That's the reason why you don't look back. Meaning spiritually, you don't think about the things that are going to be lost in this world. If you're not at home, well, guess what? The spirit is, your home is getting ransacked. I'm sorry to tell you. It's over. It's gone. You had some belongings there, and you had some extra money. You got a nice little raise, and you stocked up on some food. It's gone. You know what I'm saying? I might have ate it. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody ate it.
I got one for you. It's 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth.
Yeah, evils are going to keep growing upon the earth. Evil meaning what? Bad times. Bad times are going to come. And did we not start this off by saying in Jeremiah 28 that a prophet is going to be prophesying of these bad times? Yeah, so you got to look forward to these things and get your mind right. You're going to be in a completely different scenario, one where you probably never, who knows, the Lord could take you and transport you somewhere else just because he wants you to be around a brother in that day. You just blinked and all of a sudden you just in a completely different environment. But these evils going to keep growing.
Sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
Yeah. So famine, the sword, in these days, that's what the sword represents. Your modern day killing instrument, killing weapon, which is the gun. All these different things. You know how many guns there are here in America? It's retarded. It's like 2 to 3 times the amount of people here. It's something crazy like that. Everybody, and they're all stacking up. That report I looked at was like a year or 2 ago. Something like that. So you know it's higher now, yeah. And especially with what's going on, people are literally buying it because they know that an evil time is coming. They know that there's going to be shortages. And watch, people are going to be at the gas pumps fighting, trying to steal people's gas and shit like that. They're going to be in the stores just looting, rioting. Watch, when it happens globally, I mean, not even that, just here in America, everywhere, all 50 states, that's going to be a sight to see. See, in that time, you're not going to have to question, is Jacob's trouble fully manifested? Yes, it is here. Ain't nobody working.
So you'll know that.
Yeah, you gonna know. Nobody's working, you don't have a job, nobody's paying rent no more, cars ain't running. Imagine that.
I just think about the Purge too.
Yeah.
Mixed with Leave the World Behind. Think
Oh, hell
about movies
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna be running. Everything's gonna be shut down.
Bro, you ain't gonna see no lights on. The grid getting attacked. There ain't gonna be no internet. You ain't gonna be able to call your mother, nothing. Nobody. Just imagine at nighttime when there's no lights. There's no lights, nothing, you can't call nobody. It's just pitch black, it's dark as hell. Cars ain't running, it's quiet. I'm just painting the picture like in Wisdom of Solomon. What is that, the 17th chapter? What happened in the time of Egypt? Matter of fact, you can grab that out. Let's just run through a little bit of that. Wisdom of Solomon 17. Let's run through a little bit of what happened there, because that's what's going to take place here. It's going to be a time, I quoted it before, get Matthew 24:21 for me. It's going to be the most perilous time the world has ever seen. Y'all thought slavery was bad, but y'all better get ready for Jacob's trouble. And it ain't called Jacob's pleasure, no, it's Jacob's trouble. Trouble is coming. Go ahead, Doc.
Matthew 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be.
Yeah, y'all females, y'all gonna go through it, boy. It's gonna be terrible for y'all. Y'all walk around all high and mighty and prideful because y'all can put on 3-4 pounds of makeup on and make yourself feel all beautiful and shit. You just wait when you can't put no more makeup on. You can't put on no more eyeliner. You can't put on them big ass, ugly ass eyelashes no more. You can't buy them stinky ass wigs. You just wait. You know how low their pride is gonna be? It's gonna be low. Watch when all the shortages happen. You can't brush your nasty ass teeth.
Tweets from the three.
Right. That's right. That's gonna be gone. You're gonna see no more leaves on no trees, nothing.
No more veneer maintenance. Their veneers are gonna fall out.
Oh my God.
They're gonna have the baby teeth.
Yeah. Looking crazy.
For real.
Oh yeah, because they gotta save their teeth, right?
They have,
To use
they
them.
have to touch it up every few years. So once that, they're gonna fall out.
It's gonna be over. People gonna be looking crazy, smelling crazy. Ugh. Nasty.
Remember the chick
It's like when we first came to America on slave ships.
That's
How
right.
to relieve those lives again, chopping down wood, hunting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Setting traps.
Yeah. That's right. Go ahead, Doc. Probably like around verse 3.
Yeah, that's what I.
I watch so much anime. It kind of
This is
Right.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 3. While they supposed to, actually, let's start.
Fuck it, go to 1.
Yeah. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 1. For great are thy judgments and cannot be expressed. Therefore unnurtured souls have erred. And when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of a long night, lay their exile from the eternal providence.
Right, and that's talking about these Egyptians, right? And it's going to start going into all the hell that the Lord put upon them. Different plagues, others than those 10 you hear about. Go ahead, Doc.
Verse 3. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness.
Yeah.
being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions.
Yeah, that's one big thing. That's going to come back in a huge way. So let's paint this picture once again. The grid is attacked. There's no more electricity, no more power, right? Famine is here. People are eating each other. There's cannibalism. You have no phone. There's no such thing as an internet. You can't call nobody. It's complete darkness. The sun sets. Now all of a sudden you hear and you see apparitions. That's basically what the Egyptians went through. And that's what's about to hit again. Female screaming because a bird went by. Imagine in that time a bird goes by you. A bird is supposed to sound pleasant. I think it goes into it, like the pleasant sound of water running. It was scaring them. Small things that's not supposed to scare you in that day. It's scary when you can't see shit. It's completely black. You can't see nothing. You hear somebody whistle. You're like, holy shit. You know, you just jumping. You don't know. The things that you wouldn't be scared at all of a sudden is making you just being frightened out your goddamn mind. These people are going to go buck wild. But you know what the Lord could do? He could give all of his men night vision. And it's nighttime, all of a sudden, our retina changes and we can see clearly. You never know. You know what I'm saying? We walking around with vision like it's morning outside. You know? Go ahead, Doc.
Verse 4. For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear.
Yeah.
But noises as of waters falling down sounded about them.
Yeah, so they in the corner, you know, they like, oh, you know, they hiding. You think you found a corner because when it's dark outside and you find a corner, you feel safe. You know what's to the left, you know what's to the right. You're like, all right, cool. You hear some pleasant water running. You're going crazy, sounding like a female. And you a big 6'3" strong motherfucker. You used to be a safety. And you screaming at the top of your lungs because you heard some water. You know? Oh, it talks about that, right? In Jeremiah, right? Is it Jeremiah? Jeremiah 30? The strong men, right? Yeah. That's Jeremiah 30, right? Am I tripping?
Nah,
Zephaniah?
the strong men shall bow themselves.
Yeah, grab that.
Alright, one situation can also be that the Mosaic can open up their third eye, but then they don't have a spiritual foundation to handle what they see.
Talking about Moab and Jeremiah.
That's what a lot of people that do drugs have to deal with. Of course, that third eye to be open, but then they can't handle the madness and all the issues that's right there.
Yeah.
Because when the Messiah opens up the third eye, you gotta pray that your faith is solid. Because there are all types of crazy things like you don't want to see, in this flesh. That's why the prophets, our forefathers, used to get sick. When the Messiah, gives them a little taste of that wisdom.
Yeah, that side. That's right. Faith got to be ready to see that. You saw that?
Yeah. There's two of them though. There's one in Ecclesiastes 12 and 3.
Okay.
When the grinders of sheets, but also Zephaniah 1 and 4 when the mighty men shall cry their bitter.
That's cool. Yeah, that's perfect.
I'm gonna get Zephaniah.
This is Zephaniah 1 and 14. It says, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty men shall cry there bitterly.
Wait, hold on. It says the great day of the Lord is near. That's in the Old Testament. The brother reading what? Zechariah?
Zephaniah.
Yeah, the brother's reading Zephaniah. That's out of the Old Testament. So you can't say that the Old Testament is done away with. No, there are still prophecies that haven't come to pass yet. Namely, the day of the Lord. When he's returning. And then it says, in that day, the strong men shall cry there bitterly. Everybody walking around as if they own their block, like they're the strongest dude ever. We walking around, the two dudes earlier that walked by like they wanted to fight us. Scrawny dudes, you know? Like, why you gotta walk by and look so tough for? You know what I'm saying? Like, go about your day, my boy. You don't want this problem. You know? That's 300, my boy. You know? Nah, I'm just playing. But seriously, everybody gotta walk. You can't even, you look in the mirror, you gotta look tough as hell at your own reflection. Those are the same people, J. Cole said that. Those are the same people they're gonna be crying in that day. They're gonna be, why? Because of confusion. You know how it's gonna feel terrible when you just don't know something. You just don't know what to do and you have no answers. Bro, confusion is gonna make grown men just be like, you know, queasy. You ever had that queasy stomach? Yeah. Queasy feeling in your stomach, you just feel uneasy. That's gonna be triple, multiplied by 10. Everybody that think that they so prideful now, you gonna wish you got that draw off you, you know? Got something? I see you looking. I saw you. Go ahead,
You were just speaking on how everybody's going to be in
flip the camera, my man.
You know how you said everyone's going to be in confusion. The Lord said, Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation.
Right.
The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So if you're
Read it again.
Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. You know, if you're not moving with the fear of the Lord in that day, you know, your stability is going and your comfortability is going to be shaken. You know, you may have trusted in the workouts and the jogging and I run the fastest and I'm the strongest. You know, but without the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, you know, your stability is going to be at a very low level.
That's right. And all those things, it ain't gonna mean nothing. It ain't gonna mean nothing no more. You know, they tell you, I think, who said it? I think it was Mike Tyson who said it. You know, you get in the ring with somebody, they all big and tough and strong. You rock on one time, they forget everything. You just forget. In that day, it don't matter if you know how to shoot a gun. You practice it. You haven't practiced mentally for what's about to come. Because you don't know how bad it's going to be. You've been practicing at the gun range for 6 months. All of a sudden, Jacob's trouble comes. You like this. You shaking, you know, because you can't keep your mind calm. But the Lord is going to put that calm, stable mind on His elect, like the brother just read. That's why it's so important to do what we're doing, man. We're trying to tell y'all, man. We're not just coming out here just because it's a good day. Nah, you know. We want to be chilling too. You don't think we want to be chilling? But nah, the chilling part, that's going to come in the kingdom. We got a job to do right now. So in a way, yeah, we do want to come out because we're doing the Lord's work and we know it's good for us. And nothing feels better. You do something for the Lord and you know He's going to look after you. Oh yeah, that makes you feel great. Let's keep going to Wisdom of Solomon unless anybody else has something. You want to get one? Oh.
You made a point with me.
No, you can get it. Sorry.
This is Ecclesiastes 12:3. And the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble,
That's right.
and the strong men shall bow themselves,
That's right.
and the grinders cease, because they are few.
Yeah, no more working, no more jobs. Strong men, they don't got the answers no more. You was the man on your block, but now it's dark as hell. You don't even know where your block is no more. You can't find it, you know? Go ahead.
And those that look out of the windows be darkened.
Yeah.
And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low.
Yeah, that's Ecclesiastes, right?
12.
That was 12. Yeah, keep it. We're going to read verse 1. That's going to be a time that no one wants to be in. You see, these are those things that nobody wants to hear. Y'all want to hear the smooth things. Y'all want us to prophesy of a peaceful time. Peaceful times aren't coming. If you're listening to anybody that's telling you Jacob's trouble is not going to be here, you need to run. You need to run and don't look back. You need to act like Lot's wife to that individual, that so-called prophet. And it doesn't matter if you're not talking about Jacob's trouble, because I bet you you're going to have camps out there that's going to be like, well, we never told you that it wasn't coming. Dog.
I can't stand that type of person.
That's just as bad as not saying anything.
I can't stand that nigga.
That's like you on top of the tower, right? And you see the enemy coming, and you get the fuck out of there, but you don't tell nobody.
Yes.
And then when the enemy comes, well, y'all saw me running. Like, whoa, what the?
Why ain't y'all run with me?
Yeah, you ain't give me no warning.
I told you about my actions.
Yeah, right. It was my deeds, my deeds. You know? God. But nah, man, you gotta say something. It says we believe and therefore we have spoken. If Jacob's trouble is coming and you know it, you're supposed to be speaking on it. So if you're not speaking on it, that's just as bad as those that are speaking against it. It's just as bad.
Yeah, the brother read, wisdom and knowledge should be stability at our time.
Hey, next time, holla at me.
God. This is Proverbs 3, verse 23. Then thou shalt walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. See, wisdom is keeping us with faith or confidence. So we don't have to look back. We don't have to be hesitant. We're more decisive. So it gives us a clear mind.
Right.
Proverbs 3, verse 24. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Peace of mind. You see, a peace of mind is priceless.
Yeah.
You can't put a price tag on peace of mind. And last one, Proverbs 3, verse 25. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. Not being taken by surprise or caught off guard on what the brother's going into. You see? So our antennas are up and constantly locked in.
That's
Water.
right. Yeah, and staying circumspect.
Yup.
That's what you're going into. Staying locked in. Hey, locked into the spirit. That's what it's all about. Let's jump back to Wisdom of Solomon.
They say real quick, all we're talking about, no one can really prepare for. You're gonna react one of three ways, 3 F's I call it. You're gonna fight, it's gonna be flight, or you're gonna freeze. One of those three. All right, we like to say, I brought up earlier about the Book of Eli. We're all gonna be perfect buildings in that day. There's gonna be so much stuff going down before that time. All right, everybody's gonna freak out. And again, until that time comes, you're not gonna know how to react.
Yes, sir. I got one for you. This Isaiah chapter 30, verse 21. It says, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left.
Yeah. So we're doing that right now, right? We have this knowledge and wisdom, and we're understanding, okay, let me continue to search out the way of our fathers. Let me do the will of the Lord right now. All these things are just going to get amplified, though, in the days that come. So now you understand where to go. You're being circumspect, right? The scriptures talk about you seeing these things and you're supposed to be looking up spiritually and then, of course, physically at that time. All right, so you know what way to walk in because you're staying locked in. You know the Lord is telling you, all right, hold on. You got all these people going over there. It don't really look right. Let me go over here, right? Let me do this. Let me not follow this multitude, right? More than likely something evil is going on over there. You're going to have to be able to feel the spirit in that day. But, don't worry, don't fret, don't think too hard on it, because the Lord is going to aim things on our mind. Like, we say these things now, but when I get home, I may look at my bank account and think about the rent coming out. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be on my mind. You're not going to be thinking about that in the days to come. You're going to be thinking about, where do I lay my head, and how do I get something to eat? But the Lord, He got that taken care of. All of that. All right. Now let's go back.
I got one for extra.
Go ahead.
So this Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 23. Oh Lord,
Yes.
I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps.
Yeah, to direct his own steps. Meaning what? You gotta trust in the Lord. You gotta see the Lord puts us through certain things right now just so that we can trust in Him. And it shows us, oh, you know what? The Lord did look out for me. Now, in these days to come, in Jacob's trouble, you're supposed to look back on those examples and the situations that God put you in So you can be like, wait, he looked out for me back then, he guided my steps then, why would he not do the same thing for me now? That's why he's doing all these things for us. Because at that moment in time when you went through it, your faith was built up. So now you're experienced. You're experienced and you tried these certain things out already, you know what to do. All right, I didn't know before, but because I went through X, Y, and Z, I know whenever I come across a certain hurdle, the first thing I gotta do is pray, number one. But you wouldn't have known that if you didn't go through whatever tribulation the Lord put you through. And that's just one example. And that's why it's important too. Sometimes you just gotta reflect on all the things that the Lord put you through and the things that you've learned and how you've grown. That's a good thing to do. It's a beautiful thing. Reflect on it. Reflect on all the dross that God just shook off of you. Reflect on how he's built you up and where you were just 3 months ago, 6 months ago, how you've changed, how you've grown. You see, these are all different qualities and traits that the elect, certain things that the elect are going to have in them. That's why you have something called the fruits of the Spirit, right? Love, joy, peace, goodness, and kindness, certain things like that. The Lord is just building us up to keep believing in him in these days to come. Go ahead, bro.
This is Hebrews 10 and 32 and 33 in the AMP. It says, but remember the earlier days when after being spiritually enlightened, you patiently endured a great conflict of sufferings. Sometimes by being made a spectacle, publicly exposed to insults and distress, and sometimes by becoming companions with those who were so treated.
Yeah, read that again.
Hebrews 10 and 32 and 33. But remember the earlier days when after being spiritually enlightened, you patiently endured a great conflict of sufferings.
Yeah, you endured a great conflict of sufferings. And that's what we're going through right now. I heard, I think it was a video this morning that the Apostle Ariam Lab made. And he was just quoting a certain precept. He kept saying it over and over. We're going through certain conflicts or certain sufferings so that we're not condemned with the world. That's in Corinthians. Right? So everything that you see happening with you, the brother next to you, we're all going through different financial issues, infirmities in our flesh, certain things like that. The Lord is just having his men go through these things because right now we're being chastened to build us up so that we're not condemned with the rest of the world. They're not going through these certain things for the same exact reason that we are.
This is 1 Peter 4 and 1. For as much then as Christ hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin.
Yeah, suffered in the flesh, you cease from sin. How would that be the case? Because now the Most High looks at you like his son. Says why? Because of the faith that you have in his son, he's going to say, you know what? You have the same mindset as my son. And you're suffering just like I put him through, you're going through the same exact thing. You know what? A kingdom is prepared for you. That's what it's all about. Man, it's all about just making it to the end. That's got to be your number one goal. What do I need to do to receive salvation? Ain't nothing else more important. So you got to have the same exact mindset as Yahweh Shai. He suffered, and like the scriptures say, the servant is not greater than the master. So if Yahweh Shai suffered, and that's who the world calls Jesus Christ, his real name is Yahweh Shai, if he suffered and we're his servants, we got to go through the same thing. But like one of my favorite precepts in the book of Luke 22, it says, look, if you follow me in the regeneration of the Son of Man, you're going to sit on thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what it's all about. Enduring and making it to the end. The number one thing on your mind has to be, what do I need to do to receive salvation? And anything else, it's on the back burner. It don't matter what it is. I gotta get to camp. I gotta be there at a certain time. I gotta make my videos. I gotta do a certain amount each week. I gotta check in with the brothers. I gotta make sure they good. I gotta call somebody, lock in, do something. I gotta make it to Sabbath service. My girl trying to stop me. My kid, he always want me to child, trying to talk to me all the time. Distractions. Ain't nothing but distractions in this life. that's just Satan trying to put shit in your way to pull you into this ministry. And you got to give Satan a big fuck you. And you got to keep moving forward. Go ahead, Aaron.
This is, I forgot what you call it, but Luke 22. I'm going to start from 28. It says, ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations.
Yeah.
And I am appointing to you a kingdom, as my Father hath appointed unto me.
Yeah, is that not something to fight for? I mean, damn. A kingdom. Can you imagine? Like, you raise up in this world and, you know, you make $1 million and you feel like you're on top of the world. Okay. But $1 million, having $1 billion, that's going to be like living as a peasant in the kingdom of heaven. Imagine having $1 billion. You're a king in this world. You got $2, $3, $4, $5 billion. That's going to be poor in the kingdom of heaven. Now, the scriptures talk about how we're going to have different, chariots above our castles, sidewalks, streets made of gold, castles. Yeah, we're going to have castles. That's what a true kingdom is. And that's what we're fighting for. You see, the world thinks that's impossible. They look at that and they like, that's made up. No, you just don't know the scriptures. you don't know where to find it, but we can find it. We know where it says. Like the scriptures say, in my Father's house are many mansions. We know what that's talking about. The world sees that and they're like, oh, it sounds good. There are many places to go. That's it. Nah, they don't realize that's talking about the outermost atmosphere. There's many different planets, different galaxies, so many things to observe and look at. And the earth is going to be expanded. Israel is going to be expanded. Man, there's too much to look forward to. There's not enough time to even talk about it. Go ahead.
Luke 22 and 30, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on the thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Yeah, meaning you're judging the entire world. That's what that's going into. Because if the world was given to Israel, and you're judging the 12 tribes of Israel, that means you're sitting on top of the world. You're judging everything. And that's what we're being set up to do right now. We're being set up right now to understand good and evil, and we can understand what it means to forsake the Lord's ways, right? To not trust in Him, to not go forth with His laws, statutes, and commandments, now being put up under Esau, Edom. A man that says that his own ways are right. He has his own constitution. He has his own laws, statutes, and commandments that he looks forward to. Now we know we can look at that and say, nah, that's not right. That's not good. So when the kingdom to come, when we have those new bodies and we're finally changed, then we can say, yeah, nah, we know how to set up order now. You go here, Moab, and no, you don't do this no more. You make sure X, Y, and Z goes down, and you report it at the end of the day. You go here and, you let us know.
So this Micah chapter 4, verse 8. And thou, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto thee shall it come. Even the first dominion, the kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem.
Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to. See, the thing is the first dominion. That's the most important thing, which is what? Making it. You're making it the first round. Who's trying to come back to the loins of the elect? No, you're trying to be the elect. You're trying to make it to the kingdom of heaven by way of chariot. You see, you can't have that YOLO mindset. Like, I'm going to just live it up right now. You telling me all Israel's going to be saved? Oh, bet. So I can just do whatever I want right now and live it up and I'm going to still be in the kingdom? Technically, yes. You can if you want to. If that's the route you choose, then great. But we want to be a part of that first dominion. Meaning we want to make it to the kingdom by way of chariot. We're trying to get these spirits translated into a chariot and avoid this destruction. Y'all be saying these tough guy things like only God can judge me. You have no clue about the judgment of the Lord. What He's about to do. How that fire is going to feel. Bro, the Lord is really going to burn certain people with the fire from a chariot. Can you imagine what the hell that is like? I mean, the fire from a nuclear missile is probably already crazy. But now you about to feel the fire from a chariot. Who the hell wants to feel the fire from a chariot? And y'all talk about only God can judge you. Yeah, when you stay over there with that mindset, you stay away from me. Yeah, keep reading that up. Go back to what you read. I think there was more on it, right?
Hebrews?
No, there wasn't. 17. Yeah, let's go back.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 4.
You're late now.
For neither, want to hear something else?
Nah, go ahead, he don't.
For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear.
Yeah.
For noises as of waters falling down sounded about them.
Yeah.
And sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenance.
Yeah. Keep going.
Verse 5. No power of the fire might give them light.
Yeah.
Neither could the bright flames of the stars endure the light that horrible night.
Yeah, man. Imagine how dark that has to be. That's dark as hell. You try to light a fire, you can't do it. You can't light the fire because it's just so dark. You think the fire not there. Nah, the fire's there. You just don't see it. The Lord can do something like that again. Remember, this is spiritual Egypt. What's up, bro? Potentially, right? Like he was speaking in the spirit, but more than likely, the Lord just transferred that same exact kind of energy down here on earth. And that's probably what it was. And it would make sense because that's why it was so dark. You can't see anything, So who knows? That could really literally be quite what it was down here on earth.
Verse 6. Only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself.
Yeah.
Very dreadful. For being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not.
Yeah, this wasn't real fire. The real fire was the things that they were thinking in their mind about what's there, and it really isn't. That was the real fire that was kindled, not the physical fire. So you gotta imagine this. And that's why I said, that's why we read Sirach 18 before. You gotta think about the end. You gotta consider and think about how bad of a time it's really gonna be. I'm gonna put this on. Look at way too much noise on it. Hopefully it's better now. Keep going now.
Verse 7. As for the illusions of art magic, they were put down, and our vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace.
Yeah, so ain't nothing gonna work. No kind of sorcery, no kind of magic, no kind of knowledge or understanding outside of these scriptures, that's gonna work in that day. You gotta have the understanding of prophecy and signs and really of the spirit of the Lord to know what's going on. Only then will you be stable in these times to come.
This is Luke 21 and 26. I'm sorry, 25?
Yeah.
Luke 21, 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars.
Yeah, there's been plenty of that since the year started. All the planets are lined up not too long ago. Then you had a pink moon, you had a red moon. You had even before the year started, I think it was around Purim, there was something going on. So go ahead.
And upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring.
Yeah, distress upon nations. You see that with a lot of these airlines getting shut down for some of these countries, having to deal with what's going on. You got Trump, the U.S. sending their the envoys over to Pakistan to meet up with Iran, like that's going to do anything. Because every time they do that, Israel turns around and just does whatever they want. So that brings distress upon nations. Just when they think everything's okay, the sandcastle gets destroyed, so to say, all over again. Go ahead, bro.
Luke 21, 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear.
Yeah, that's the point that I wanted. That's what you see going on in Wisdom of Solomon right now. Men's hearts are failing them for fear because the things that they project, because these people in the world, they like to project and see what's going to happen in the future, and then they move accordingly. But we know the future is grim. They're looking at sunshine and rainbows and all that stuff. The Lord promised evil and confusion for Babylon. So when you go out and you look in their vision, if I get Zechariah 14 and 12 as well, when it talks about their eyes shall melt away in their holes, that's going into the things that they foresee as well in the spiritual sense. What do you got planned for the future? Does it align with the scriptures? A lot of people ain't aligning what they believe, even in the world, with the scriptures. What we believe in the world and stuff like that, and we know on the carnal level, we make sure we filter through the scriptures so it doesn't sway our faith what we know is actually going to happen. People don't do that. Let me get to Zechariah 14.
This is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Most High will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
Yeah, read that again from the top. That's a good point in the beginning. Go ahead.
This is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Most High will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
Right, showing you again that the Lord only cares about his people. He didn't say all the people that fought against Basra or all these other different nations and stuff like that. He said Jerusalem, which we're a city, we're a people before we're a place. Go ahead.
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet,
Yep.
and their eyes shall consume away in their holes.
Right, meaning what they foresee. That's why a lot of these people who they call themselves coming into the truth, their vision is off. We know it's off because they're no longer here. Like these Israelites that say, I need to go back in the world and find myself. I just need a couple months to think about it. No, your ass should have thought about it before you picked up the scriptures and said, I believe, and put on t-shirt and fringes, or wherever you put your fringes, wherever, you know, because the fringe is a spiritual thing, in this sense anyways, you know, because they can't get us delivered. Anyways, if that's your vision, you're through. Go ahead.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Right, that's why a lot of mouths are being stopped. The scripture says that we got to learn, basically we need to keep this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding so we can stop the mouths of those that are ignorant, you know, that are foolish, speaking evil against this truth. That was it. Let's go back to, back right here,
Luke 21 and 26, men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth.
Right, getting weak in the knees. And so this time it's not going to be for no women. You know, that weak in the knees feeling, a lot of Israelites going to feel that, man. That pit in the bottom, that uneasy feeling in your stomach, you know, that sound like nails going across the chalkboard or whatever the hell makes your teeth grind, makes you feel that way. Lord's going to bring a summation of all those things together upon this whole earth. You know, a lot of people who are well off and got money and so-called pushing themselves forward, bulk shopping and all this, those are going to be the ones that get hit the hardest when they realize they put in all this effort for nothing. You know, sometimes when you're at work, you get that feeling, you're doing all this work, you're like, damn, did I forget to do this back at 9 o'clock? And you're like, shit, that's only 5 minutes left. That's how we felt when we found out the truth. Like, damn, we got to catch up. We got a lot to make up. And because we had that mindset, the Lord is not going to make our heart and our emotions overwhelmed so we don't know how to move in these times. This is going to happen to everybody else. Right. We're expecting to be in sci-fi type of situations, you know? Go ahead.
It says, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Verse 27.
Right, and we see the earth people act like this is something wild. Well, we've seen it. Before we were born, they had video clips of what happened to Nagasaki, Hiroshima. They show you how they test their weapons way out there in the ocean, jacking the earth all up. That's why the Lord, if I can get Revelation 11 and 18, that's why the Lord says he's going to destroy them for doing all these things. Stay where you at and keep on reading. Read that precept again.
Luke 21, 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear,
right,
and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Yeah. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory.
That's why we tell people you're going to see it in your lifetime. All the signs are here. Why wouldn't you see it? You know what I'm saying? You see a woman, her belly's way the fuck out there. It's like, oh, she's about to be pregnant. You know? Somebody get her ass to a hospital. That's what's going on with Babylon. That's how the Lord has likened this place metaphorically to a woman who doesn't stand a chance. Except Babylon's gonna burst, you know. It's gonna burst. It's gonna be a death, you know. This place ain't coming back again. Let me get Revelation 11.
This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 18. And the nations were angry.
Right, because they were already under distress. You know, all the nations were under distress under this damn devil. These Amalekites pushed everybody into debt, made them all depressed. Keep going.
And thy wrath is come,
yeah,
in the time of the dead, that they should be judged And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name.
Yeah, that's the elect 144,000 and 1/3. That's a 1/3. I like to call that a 1/3 scripture too, because it says the small and great that fear the name. Yeah, you got men in rank that might be small, and those are great, but you also have children. You know what I'm saying? You read about in the scriptures in Jeremiah, it's the 31st chapter, we don't have to get it. It talks about how pregnant women and those babies that were just born are going to be delivered. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord's going to pull a miraculous deliverance again. The whole earth is going to forget about the Red Sea. So it's going to be amazing what the Lord does. Go ahead.
And shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.
Right, that's what we read about in Luke 21, because what they're doing is destroying the earth. So what's going to happen is the Lord's going to use those same instruments of destruction, and He's going to have them destroy themselves. We'll let this pass, and then we'll wrap up in Luke. Sound of the beast. Go ahead, finish up.
Luke 21 and 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh.
Right, and that's why I was listening. The brother said, we looking up spiritually, but eventually we have to look up physically, because you might be in a situation where you just get zapped off the earth and translated. You know, you're in a sticky situation, and the Lord just call you up, like Psalms 91 and 4. The angel shall bear thee up in thy hands. Because we're in dire straits, man. And we're praying that the Lord keeps the spirit on us and we keep fighting so that we can meet that moment when we do look up, if that's how it's written for us, to get delivered. All right? Why does this nigga keep on honking, man? What the fuck? So with that, we're going to panya hakwadam and give all praises to our power. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Double honors to our elders and apostles, a great millstone. Shalom.